Hello, welcome. Third time's the fucking charm. I know, we're not even like 7 seconds in and I'm already swearing, but it's okay. It's my channel, I can do what I want. Um, so basically, I'm gonna tell you what just fucking happened to me. Uh, I recorded this, talked the whole way through, because I'm that amazing. And the audio was shit. The desktop audio for this game was louder than my voice, so I had to scrap that. But I didn't want to scrap the whole video, so I voice over it. I talked the whole way through again. My microphone wasn't working the entire time. If it happens again, I may just scrap the video because I don't have that much time on my hands, man. I can't. I've spent like an hour recording this video, and usually I spend that much time editing, but it's already edited. All I did was cut parts out where it needed to be cut, which was just the beginning so that you don't see like my software, and then the end, and then also the middle where I took a photo because it was like, oh my god, my morph's so cute, she's so pretty, I need to take a photo. Y'all better understand that. Also, this can't be something I just do, right? Like, you load up the game, you have no intentions of role-playing, really hunting or doing anything, but you just go around and take like a bunch of photos and just run around to stare at your morph because you're like, my morph is so beautiful, I love it so much. Is that just me? That can't just be me. Anyway, I suppose I'll talk about what I was basically talking about the whole time. What did I go through? I went through humanity, Twilight, Inzoi. There was The Sims 4 briefly. So I suppose I have a checklist now. Shall we start with The Sims 4 because that's most relevant right now. Sims 4. There's a Sims 4 speed build that I am planning to finish. I started it, made the kitchen after making the outside, and then I went, actually, I don't want to continue this, and I took a break. And I have not gotten back to it yet. However, if I go back and finish it, it should be done. I wanted to do it because, I'm trying to get better at building, which I'm not terrible at building. I think I'm decent at building, personally. But my last speed build was kind of bad. I didn't know you could paint ceilings down, by the way. I did not know. That was information that was not given to me. My last speed build, which was my first one, was so bad because I was paranoid that you guys would be watching, and I was like, okay, I'll just clutter it later because I don't want to, I was panicking. So, hopefully, there will be clutter in this one because I did put some clutter in the kitchen. It's not going to be as good as, like, somebody who's been doing it for a really long time. Like, I've been doing it since I was a kid, but we're not going to lie. I'm not exactly a builder. Even though I like building, I'm not a builder. I'm also recovering from a cold, that's why I sound like shit. I took a bunch of NyQuil, so I kind of got over it pretty quickly. But I'm still getting over it, My thing about humanity, that whole talking point, I was talking about how we dehumanize people so much these days. Content creators, celebrities, just strangers in general. Celebrities, even when I was little, I always found it strange when people get starstruck over them. Because it's just a person to me. That's just a person. Sure, they're in movies. They're really cool. Yeah, awesome. Again, just a person. They're just like us. So just go and approach them like a normal person. You can say whatever you want to them. They're just a person. You might get in trouble, but they're just a person. And I believe in treating everybody with empathy because why wouldn't you? Like, if they're not hurting anybody, just be respectful. It's not that hard. People are so dramatic nowadays. Hold on. I am trying not to sniffle into the microphone because I don't want to gross you guys out. But anyway, also talked about what I wanted to do as a career, which is acting, for those of you who didn't know, because I've never mentioned it on this channel, I don't believe. I don't have another channel. I don't know why I said this channel. This is my only channel, but, I've never mentioned it before. And I did a lot of acting as a kid. My stepmother had me in a lot of plays. Sorry. She had me in a lot of plays. And I always enjoyed it, but I thought I was going to be a pet trainer. But now I want to be an actor. Which might be hard with my allergy, which is I'm allergic to the heat. So if my internal body temperature heats up, I'm like screwed. I break out in hives. I spent like 3 hours cleaning my room last week because it was terrible, and I let it get that way, and then I didn't want to clean because the process is I clean my room, and then I do laundry, and then I bring the clothes, and I don't want to put them away, and then they get thrown on the floor, and the cycle repeats. But basically, I was trembling by the time I was done, and then I also built my desk after that, and it was an experience. Also, everybody say thank you to my mom because she got me a desk for Christmas that's the one I built, and she also got me my headphones for my birthday because she's awesome. But yeah, that's I'm switching topics really fast. What else did I talk about? Sorry, I'm so sorry, guys. I had to sniffle. I apologize deeply. I'm very sorry. Hopefully that won't happen again. Anyway. I also talked about Inzoi, which, if you don't know, Inzoi is a life simulation game. That's gonna be the competitor of The Sims 4, possibly. The Sims franchise. Their microtransactions are shit, by the way, guys. Don't recommend buying any of their DLC. I suggest, you know what? I'm not gonna say what I suggest, because I could get in trouble for that. But there are other ways to obtain the DLC, wink wink. Please don't get me banned, guys. But anyway, Inzoi. I'm very excited for it. It's supposed to come out in March on the 28th. And I will be making a video if I get it and if my computer can run it. Those are the two factors that will determine whether I make a video on it when it comes out. But God, I had a train of thought and I lost it. What else was I going to say? Oh, right. I knew it wasn't going to come out in 2024. People were excited for it, but from watching the videos of like the people who got early access, I was watching them and so many interactions did not exist. And I was like, yeah, no, there's no way they're so early in development. They are not getting this done by December. Like by December, is it 30th or 31st? I can never remember for the months. I will never remember. It's insane. But I knew that they weren't going to be ready, so I wasn't that disappointed when they pushed it back. I was glad they didn't try and cut corners and like force it through, because then we would have gotten a really bad game, and that was not something I would have wanted. Another thing I talked about was how we as fandom, Warrior Cats, us as the Warrior Cats fandom, we are lacking so many quest games, like so many games that could exist. There's so many opportunities, but we're lacking. And you may be like, there's ClanGen or there's Scratch, but for Scratch, a lot of games, you got bored very quickly after a while, which is why I haven't posted any more Scratch games, which I know a lot of people subscribe to me for. Sorry. But I haven't posted any because I got bored of them and I just haven't wanted to go back to them for a little while. This squirrel actually annoyed me in this part right here. I know this is off topic, but I could not catch that squirrel because I was going down the rocks and it pissed me off. Anyway. But ClanGen, on the other hand, ClanGen can be really fun. I love ClanGen. I am an avid ClanGen player. However, it's not what I'm talking about. And also, Warrior Cats Ultimate Edition. I love Warrior Cats Ultimate Edition, don't get me wrong. But all they have is roleplay. I want a full game that's like Warrior Cats Ultimate Edition, that kind of open world concept, you know? But I want to be able to do quests and have like romantic interactions to grow up in like a clan or like as a rogue or something. Because it would be so fun. So basically, bro, there's at one point I was hoping somebody would mod Wolf Quest to be like a Warrior Cat skin because I thought it would be really fun. If somebody does that, please let me know because I would love to try it out. But yeah, I really want to see a Warrior Cats game made that has quests and an open world concept and like everything that we want in it as a fan base, because where is it, guys? It's been, how many books have they put out at this point and we still don't have that? And like the rumors that there was a Warrior Cats movie and then we still didn't get one, which I get why, actually, because parents would take their kids to it and then they'd see cats die on screen. And they would not be prepared for that because they did not check what Warrior Cats is like. Like, so many people buy their kids the Warrior Cats series and don't realize that it's actually kind of graphic. Like, we love it, but it's really not meant for little kids. I really love the books, though. I do. And I don't think I'm caught up with the most recent ones, but, you know, we'll get there. Oh, another thing I talked about was Twilight, by the way. Because I've seen so many skits recently where they're, like, talking about the difference between the characters in the books versus the movies. And unpopular opinion, I prefer the movies because nobody talks about the some questionable shit goes on in those books, okay? Like, for example, Jacob forces, like, himself on Bella for, like, a kiss. Not, like, further than that, but a kiss. And Bella tells her dad because they're, like, fighting. So, her dad wants to know, obviously, logically. Do you want to know what Charlie does? He goes, "Nice job," and basically fist bumps Jacob. Is nobody going to talk about how weird that is? Like, how terrible of a father you have to be to do that? Because what the fuck, bro? We don't support that here. And nobody talks about it. Am I the only one that was bothered by that? Like, that scene stuck with me. Also, the amount of, like, controlling that was done on the Cullens' part towards Bella, she has more patience than me. I would have taken everybody out. Like, you're getting ghosted immediately. I don't care if you're a vampire. I'm going to avoid you. I'm going to pretend I don't know you. Because I don't like being controlled as a person. It's just not happening. Guess my star sign, guys. But yeah, it really bothers me because why does nobody else get bothered by that? Also unrelated, but I went to watch Wicked on Friday for, like, a birthday thing. I know it's a day after my birthday, but my mom had work, so she didn't take me till Friday. And we both thought the movie was going to be terrible. You can't hate on us for that, okay? We didn't think it was going to be that good because it was being overhyped on, like, every platform. But we actually really liked it. I'm not going to spoil it because I know it's still in theaters, so people haven't probably gotten the chance to watch it quite yet. But I will say Alphaba has more patience than I did, because if I was her, I would have taken everybody out within the first 10 minutes of that movie. Like, who cares about character growth? I'm taking everyone out who's treating me like that personally. But anyway. What else is there to talk about? Oh yeah, I guess the dehumanizing thing. I did go further in on that. But there's a lot of people, I'm sure you guys have noticed, but there's a lot of people being like, it's crazy how people in the cars next to me are like, they have their own lives and they're like the main character in their lives. Like, yes, that's how life works. Welcome to the world. I don't know where you've been. Why are people not looking at other people as people anymore? Like, where's the empathy? Like, if you're not seeing this as somebody who, because in my mind, that's how a person who unalives other people looks at people is the way that most people do now. Like, you don't see them as somebody who has family and friends and life aspirations and things they want to be and want to do. You only see them as somebody passing by as a stranger, really, and you don't even really recognize them as their own person. And it's a thing that we have to get over, hopefully, because I think it's sad that we can't just notice that other people have their own lives and feelings, like, specifically people who leave, like, really nasty comments on things. Like, not my things. I don't get hate comments. I'm not that famous, guys. I get like 10 views per video, and I'm okay with that. Honestly, I do this for fun. This is a pastime. And I know I'd have more views if I posted consistently, but I'm trying, okay? I'm trying to get better. And I know every time I say that, I disappear for like half a year, but hopefully that won't happen this time. And I need to be more responsible about my own schedule. I just have trouble balancing personal life and work life in a way, you know? Because I guess you could consider this a job in a way. And I have trouble doing both for some reason, because I feel like I don't have enough time for both. Which Probably makes no sense to most people, but it makes sense in my brain. Um, but that's how it works. Um, where was I going with this? Oh, also content creators. We don't think about content creators as people too, because I noticed from myself actually. I don't know if other people do this too. I think they do though. When you watch a content creator, they're an entertainer to you. They're just a content creator. That's all we see them as. Not even a person sometimes. Though I personally see them as their own people. Personally. With lives and stuff. Which took a while to do, actually. I was one of the people who didn't see them like that, who you just don't think about it. It's not a thing you do, like, purposely. It's just an absent-minded, subconscious thing that happens. But you don't, when, it's weird, because the thing that did it for me was seeing, like, one of the people I watch in a comment section of a video I'd watched and enjoyed. And they were, like, they commented, and I was like, oh, that's crazy. Like, you watched this video, what are you doing here? And we forget that they're on that platform and watching other content creators too. It's just, I find that even I don't comment, even though I'm not famous or anything. I don't comment on things because I don't want to look back and be ashamed of saying something. Or like supporting somebody who turns out to be really nasty, you know? And I think a lot of people don't think about that. That's why you don't see many of your content creators in there, because they usually get throwaway accounts, or they just don't comment when they watch things. Because there's always going to be that fear that something may happen, and that may be considered bad or wrong that you were even on that channel, right? So, I mean, even normal people might just do it. Like, there's a lot of us that are just silent viewers, I think. And I think that's also why a lot of videos get more views than they do comments. Even more likes than they do comments, because there's so many of us out there, man. We're just silent viewers. And I know it's bad, because they want that interaction with their commenters. Like, I want that, but I also get why people wouldn't interact and they would just not comment on any of my stuff. Like, I totally get that, because I'm one of those people. And I mean, it is what it is, you know? There's just so much you have to worry about once you actually have anybody's eyes on you. Like, when you're just a regular person, which I technically am, but like, I have a few people who watch me, and that is enough to get that paranoia going, you know? I think today's society with technology, I say that as if I was born when there wasn't technology. I was not, guys. Surprisingly, I was not. But I think with technology, we've all gotten more insecure and paranoid about who's watching us. Because it's true that more people can now interact with you than it was before. And there's many good and bad things that come with that. And I think taking psychology, intro to psychology, actually helped with my view on a lot of things. And I do enjoy reading articles about psychology. Psychology was a very fun class. If you can take psychology as like something that's not in college, like just a high school course, I suggest doing it, because it's really fun. It's a very fun class to take, and it opens your eyes on a lot of stuff. And if you're interested in that sort of thing like I am, it's just really fun. Although I did learn, was it anthropology? I think it was anthropology. There's this huge debate about whether anthropologists can just keep skeletons out of the ground, not return them to their burial site. And there's an argument on both sides, where one's like, you should ask the people who like they're related to. And then the anthropologists are like, well, their bones, will need them in the future. But they also say that since they're dead, like both sides say they're dead, so it doesn't matter what they would have wanted. And I'm actually arguing the side what they would have wanted is important. And nobody else agrees with me, basically. My teacher agreed with me, though, which I was glad. But the Romans, they were very superstitious in the way they wanted to be buried with what They so they'd have it in the afterlife, and they wouldn't have wanted to be dug up. Like, it was a literal crime to dig them up. And I think that it's completely immoral to be pulling people out of the ground who wouldn't have wanted that to happen in their life, because these were people. They lived and breathed just like us. They had lives. They had people who loved them. They had all this stuff, and it's just completely disregarded simply because they passed away. Okay, like, I wouldn't want that to happen to my body. If I'd wanted to stay in the ground, I would want to remain in the ground, and they don't think about it that way. Personally, I wouldn't care. Like, after I die, feel free to dig up my bones and find whatever. I don't care. Because I'm dead. But they cared, and I think it's important that that's acknowledged and that they're left alone. And more importantly, I think it is important that skeletons are returned to their relatives, who, if they want them back, and if they want them to be placed back where they belong. Because a lot of indigenous people have had their dead taken from them by anthropologists. And one anthropologist even went so far to say that he thought his students were brainwashed because they said that they the indigenous people deserve to have the skeletons returned back to them. And actually, a lot of them, they don't even use a lot of the skeletons. They're just mad that they're getting told to put them back. Because a lot of them, like, one baby's skeleton was found inside a cereal box, like shoved inside a cereal box, and it's actually diabolical, man. I don't know how to explain how strongly I feel about this. It's so wrong on so many levels. And you don't have to agree with me. Everybody's allowed to have a different opinion, but to me it's just immoral to be doing all this stuff, you know? And I do agree that we can learn from skeletons, but perhaps ones that don't really affect anybody. Like, ones who, you know, like, hey, we wouldn't have cared if you dug us up because we didn't really have that kind of religious belief that if you dug us up, shit would happen. So, go ahead, you know? It's just, I think that religious beliefs are pretty important for a lot of people. And sure, there's, like, some beliefs that, you know, you could say are wrong. And I don't agree with hating on someone for religious reasons, but however, I do think that somebody's religious beliefs should be respected after they're dead, and that we shouldn't be pulling them up out of the ground if they wouldn't have wanted that to happen, you know? I feel like I just went on a really long rant about that. I hope that wasn't too long for you guys. This is only a 25-minute video, so I don't think I could have been talking about it for that long, right? I was looking at the leaderboard, by the way, to see if I was on it. I'm not. I only have 24 points. I think the stone ones, I'm part of the stone ones because I thought the design looked really nice. And you could say the Pineborn Rangers ones might look nice, but let's be honest, the bark, we learned that from the bark accessories in the fall, if you were there for that Game Pass thing, they looked terrible. And some people made them work, but personally, I don't want to put that much effort in to making something look nice when it should already look that way because the developer should have thought of that kind of. And no offense to the developers, because if I was a game developer and people were complaining about stuff that put a lot of effort in, I'd be pissed. So, like, no offense to them. They weren't my cup of tea. I know some people really liked them, but I think the Stone Warden's accessories look better in the concept art. By the way, if you aren't in the WCUE Discord server, you should be, because that's where they post a lot of their announcements and, like, some tests they used to post there, play tests. I don't know if they still do. I haven't been checking. And I've been talking too long because my recovery is now being stunted. I can feel, like, my throat getting not so great. But that's what happens when the audio gets messed up 2 times in a row. So, the video is ending soon. And I was just running to the spot where I was going to end it. I did enjoy making this video, honestly. And I hope you enjoyed me just yapping. I've been told my voice is very soothing. And I hope that's true. Although it might be scratchy and not soothing right now because I'm not doing so good. But, We'll be all right. We'll get through it. I really appreciate all of you who do watch my videos, even if you don't comment, and even if you don't really leave a like. I do appreciate that you watch them all the way through. And you mean a lot to me, because without you, I'd be nothing, okay? So I hope you enjoyed this video, and have a good evening, day, or night, wherever you are. Bye!